Hi, it's Nick from UK Gardening. We're now at the end of April. I've just pruned my poinsettia. It's done really well, but you can see from some of these bracts that we're starting to lose some of the colour from the leaves. If I turn this around, you'll see that they're starting to just get old. So I've given it a good prune, but thought that I would actually take some cuttings and see how I get on. Now I think you treat them as softwood cuttings, as stem cuttings. So what I'm going to do is take a largish pot, put some crocks in the bottom, which just helps drainage. Then take a little bit of perlite. Perlite is it's like polystyrene, it just helps with drainage. You can use grit, because whilst you want the roots to be moist, you don't want them to be waterlogged. So we'll give that a good mix up. Compost, press it down a bit. Okay, any bits. This is compost straight out. Well, I was going to say straight out of the compost bin. It's actually been in a bag over winter where I've just changed the compost into the compost bin and sieve some soil. Now, what I'm going to do is take one of these. If you haven't watched my previous video, excuse me. If you haven't watched one of my previous video on poinsettias, they're part of the Euphorbia family, so the sap can be an irritant. If you're susceptible to skin irritation, wear gloves, but obviously just be wary of the sap. Now what I'm going to try and do is actually, I've cut these off at an angle. Whenever you're pruning plants, always cut the above a bud and at an angle, so any rain that actually sits on them, or if you're watering, any water that sits on the top of the stem, it'll actually just run off. But when you're actually coming to do the cuttings, you want a straight cut, but you want a straight cut just below a leaf node. So you're actually going to lose the intersection between the bud that you're cutting off the parent plant and the leaf joint from the cutting. So cut straight across there. It's a bit strange actually, because I've got a downward facing leaf there. A bit confusing. So cut straight across there. The leaf node is actually where most of the hormones are in the plant. So that's why you cut to there. It gives it maximum chance to regrow. I'm not sure about this one. It's got this little side shoot which I'm eager to keep, but it might be below soil level. Now the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off all of these big leaves, because what will happen out of the big leaves, it will actually lose a lot of moisture. The plant will lose 70 to 80% of its moisture or water through its leaves. And then I'm just going to, actually it says on my, I've got some rooting gel here, it actually says to soak the cuttings, or soak the stems in water before using this gel. But as I've only just cut this one off and I've watered the plant well this morning, I think I can probably get away with it. I'm just going to push it in about a third up the stem. As I say, I'm a bit worried about that little side shoot. Bit of a gamble on that one, but what I will do now is I'll take one of these bigger ones. I want to take cuttings. Oh, that's got a similar problem. I'll take one of these larger cuttings. You can see here this is a really nice straight stem. Get rid of that. And I want it 4 to 6 inches, which I think is 10 to 15 centimetres. I've put up in an era which is using the old imperial system as well as metric system, so I'm just a confused kid. Remove the larger leaves from here. You can see the sap coming out straight away. That's just from the watering that I gave it this morning. Now I'm not going to be able to go to that one, which is nice because it's got a little shoot coming out of it, but I'll cut to that one. Again, I'll cut straight across. I'll take out these large leaves, and now I'm going to cut across like that. This has been sitting in water, and as soon as I cut it off the plant I dropped it in water, so I'm just going to dip that in the rooting gel, and I'm just going to push it into the compost there. Get rid of those. This would be a nice one. Again, cut straight across the bottom, just below a leaf node. Cut off these larger leaves. I might actually be able to get two out of this. No, I won't actually. I'll just dip it in the rooting gel, and now I'll push that in there. So you might see me turn that around. I just wanted the leaves on the inside rather than on the outside, because when I put I'm going to put a bag over here. Well, you'll see in a minute what I'm going to do. So again, cut straight across under a leaf node. Take the larger leaves off. Cut an angle on the top. Take that one off as well. Put it in the rooting compound. Push it about a third into compost. One more in there. This will be the last one in this pot. So okay, it's got a nice little side shoot on it, which is quite fortunate. Put that one in the middle there. Right, now I'm going to give it good water. It might seem a bit odd that you give it a water because it hasn't got any roots, but what you're actually just trying to do is keep it moist. You don't want the soil actually taking moisture from the stem. You want to just keep the moisture level high. Now these you've got to keep fairly warm, so you either take them indoors and pop them on the windowsill, or if you've got a conservatory, if you're fortunate enough to have a greenhouse, and keep them in there. They, as I've mentioned in my previous video on poinsettias, they are tropical plants. They will grow outside in tropical climates, but in the UK it sometimes gets a bit cold for them, so you've got to create a little micro climate for them. So as I say, pop them into a pot like that, and then get a little sandwich bag. This is a little sandwich bag. It might be too small actually. Right, hold that thought. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get some little canes so I can make a little wigwam. I don't want the bag that I'm going to put over these to sit on the stems. So I'll just put 3 of these little bamboo canes in. It might be a bit long, but we'll see. This is an old bag that I think I had some dahlias in, so I'll just put that over. But any old sandwich bags or something, you just create a little greenhouse. Pop it over the edge of the pot. There we go. Safely tucked away. I'm going to keep those in the greenhouse, keep an eye on them, make sure they don't dry out too much, and later on in the summer they'll start growing, and then I'll put them up into individual pots. And that's about it. Thanks very much for your time. If you've got any questions, please post them below.